Hey there, Bloomerinos. We're getting ready to make the Cutest Bee Centerpiece with our latest kit. And in here, you're going to get one of these big ferns, a couple of different cute little bees here. Then we've got a fishtail fern for a little bit of height. And then a beautiful yellow gypso bush. And this will help us bring in all that pretty yellow color. And we'll get one of our larger bees too. And then let me show you our container. Our container is super cute because it's set up literally like a honeycomb. It has got that neat pattern to it. Look at that. Isn't that great? We're going to load this with floral foam to get this whole project started right now. So what I want to do is grab a couple of pieces of my floral foam. This I cut off of a big sheet and I save every little piece. But you can buy smaller pieces at your local craft store or even at like a dollar store will have floral foam. And then I'm going to cut two little blocks that are almost to the top, you see here. We don't want to go too low, but not too high. So I think that height works pretty well. So I'll just cut these both down. And then we'll have two blocks just like this. And we'll save all of our little pieces for any other projects. And sometimes we need little pieces like that. Now, what I want to do here is we're going to dip these in a little hot glue here in my electric skillet and then pop them right into the bottom of my container. So I'll put one, I'm going to push this one in like over to the wall as much as possible, okay? Then I'll get my second one, and be careful with the glue, guys. You want to be safe. And then I'll push this one in. It'll be a little bit tighter, but we should be able to kind of push it in there. Wedge it just a little, and then those will both be glued in, and I've got that floral foam a little bit down from the top, just like a ½ an inch or so, but nice and filled up. Okay, all ready to rock and roll. Now our next step in making this kit is I'm going to put our fern in next, and we got a really full fern bush, and that's great because I want to make this this base be the bottom, but it really wanted to explode out and be full of beautiful foliage. So on this type of fern, sometimes they catch together, don't sweat it. Just take and push these up and make these fun little clusters like this, okay? And we're gonna cut those off to where they have like a little stem, maybe like an inch or so. So just gently push them up. And when you do that, I'm kind of twisting them a little. So let me do a little tip alert here. Tip alert. When you have a bush like this and you want to use it for a great filler and you really don't need the height, when you're twisting, just rotate these. Twist as you're pushing up. And you can see I created like a perfect little cluster there. Isn't that great? So I'm going to take and cut that off. And we just made the perfect cluster. Let's make one more. So instead of just pushing up, like we normally would do, we're going to push up and twist so we make a cute little cluster, and then it looks really full. Alright, I'm going to do that for the majority of the bush, and then I'm going to save a couple pieces to be a little higher. So I'm going to cut that one really long. 2 pieces can be a little higher, and I'm going to do the ones that don't have the bigger fern in it. And when I say that bigger fern, it's right here, because this fern that has that longer leaf, this one, it looks so good kind of cascading out the side of your design. So once again, when I'm twisting, I'm going to bring it to the edge. Oh yeah. Twist and bring it up. Keep twisting. And then we'll cut these all till they're pretty short. And we're going to do that till the whole bush is naked. Naked bush. Next. So there's my 2 longer pieces. We talked about those. And I'm going to take these and put them right in the middle. I'm going to push them up a little. And we're going to have one kind of come out to the right of the middle and then a little bit to the left. These are my 2 longer ones. And I'm doing that so I get a little bit of this texture of fern kind of in the center of my design. All right, and now the rest are going around the whole outside. So you're just going to get to having fun now. So we're going to load that up. Matter of fact, if you've got a Lazy Susan, pull it out and let's put it down. Because literally you can just spin this around while you're creating. And we want these ferns coming over the edge. In design school we call that breaking the plane, and it's really important to our design here. It looks really full and moving. This is our long fern we talked about earlier. We want that to the outside. Yeah. I love to give you a glimpse of what happens in design school with some of these smaller projects here. You can kind of get a feel. And when you're ready to tackle something a little more challenging, or you're just ready to take your designs to the next level, we love to have you in class, because this is the kind of stuff we start with and we build on. So this is a great little starter project. Bring that one out over the edge with the big fern. Doesn't it look great? Oh, we're just filling it right up. And then once you get all the way around, you're going to see how stinking cute this is. And I think a present like this you can make for someone. You know, you could turn the bee theme into so many things. But look at that now. Look. Isn't it great? We took that honeycomb container, and now it's very subtle, and we just added all that great greenery. Great start, right? We did it so far, so good. Now, our next layer of greenery, this is our fishtail, and it's our height in this design. So I want to do the same thing. We're going to take and push them up just a little bit. We know we want it to be, you know, about the same height, a little bit higher than those other pieces are in there. So you can always take it up to your arrangement, just give it a little bend and see, okay, how tall should I be cutting these? And I'm going to vote you cut them a little bit longer than you need, because we can always trim them when we get down to that point in the design. So I'm going to cut these a little bit longer. And once again, we're going to have a naked stem. You want to get them all off there. Everybody off. And we're ready to have some fun and going around here. Alright, let's put our first couple of pieces in right between. I'm going to put one right between those other ferns. And now we'll work between each one. Yes. And now you can see we've got our height. So it was important to have two separate greeneries in this design because of that. Because we've got bees that are going to be flying in here, and we got to get them moving around, right? Let's put that one in. Oh, that looks so good. Watch those glue strings. That is a pet peeve. Try not to have them shooting out everywhere. Try. Make sure you get them off before you get all done. Alright. Looks pretty good. This one's a little tall, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. If it happens to you too, just wiggle it. The glue's not totally set yet. And I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. There we go. Now we'll be better right in there. Yeah. So we've got some nice tall ones in the middle, and then I'm just taking a few of these side ones, and I'm going to make them a little shorter. Let me pull that one out too. All right, and that bridges that gap between the fern down here and the fern in the middle. Now, we are going to put some really cute gypso in there too. Hold these off for just a minute. We'll come back to those. But before we even put our gypsophilia in, I want you to start getting your main bees in, okay? So we're going to try to use this stem all together. So if I go down and I want to kind of see, if I'm going to put it at the base of the foam, how would that work for height? That wouldn't be too bad right there. So let me take and trim this so we can keep these all together. And that'll save us some time, you know, putting it all in place. I'm going to rotate this around. Let's go like right next to our middle stem we put in. Maybe come back beside it a little bit. This is just a super cute, like, teacher's gift. Make it for your mom. The kids can make it for grandma or make it with grandma. It's just a fun one. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now this fishtail is still a little longer than I want, so I'm going to trim it. And then we're going to cut it. We're going to leave that shorter. Just bring it on in a little shorter right here. Yeah. Okay, so there's my three main bees. They're looking really good right there. See them? That looks great. Now my next move is I am going to get my big bee at the bottom because I wanted her to be kind of here at the front. And I thought it'd be cute. You could take like a little clothespin and put a little note for your teacher or a little picture of the kiddo, depending who you're making it for. Or if it's like a get well piece you're making or just something to cheer somebody up, we could totally do that. Now I'm going to take and pull off her little neck bow and just leave her little neck. Because I don't mind her eyes red and her nose red, but I'm not going to have an extra bow, okay? Now, we need a way to stick this in here. So a simple way to do that is take and put a little hot glue on a dowel. This is just like a shish kebab skewer, right? And I'm going to run that right on the back of this, okay? Plenty of glue on there. We'll set that down, let it start drying. And I'm just going to camouflage that glue with a little Spanish moss back here. Just tuck that on. No one will see the glue. It'll look very professional and finished. And let's just set this to the side and we'll let it start drying up. And we just put her on her own little dowel, okay? We'll let her get set up. And our main bees are in, but our next move is to add the gypso. So the gypso is going to add that yellow color. And it's going to be something for these bees to be eating, right? So we're going to do the same thing with this bush. I'm going to push them up into little clusters. And then they make the cutest clusters. So that's what you want to do with each one. And these aren't going to be way high in the design. They're going to run down there in with that fern. Okay? Down towards the base. So we're making little chunky clusters. Don't pull too hard or you'll take it right off. Which I have been known to do. And you'll really have a naked stem then. Okay, see all that? Everybody's good. Now we're going to cut everybody down to like 4 or 5 inches, not too long, because we want these to go around into that fern zone, okay? So when I say the fern zone, we're talking in there. Man, we are steadily making naked stems. I love not having extras. That's one nice thing about doing a kit. You're going to use everything in that kit on this project, and then you don't have anything extra to be kicking around. So I'm going to take one piece and we're going to tuck it in here, and it's just going to poof out the side. Ooh, that looks perfect. Now let's take one that's a little higher, see if I can get it in between the bees a little. Who's a little taller? This one is. Okay. And I'm just kind of paying attention to the front now. Right here at the front. Oh, perfect. Now we know Mr. B is going in here. Our wood bee that's drying. It's almost ready. That's going to be going down here. So let's come to this side a little bit more with yellow. And I'll cut this one down a little. Perfect. Nice. Now let's use our Lazy Susan, spin it around. Let's go around that back. Keep trimming these. We'll go right in here. That looks excellent. All right, that gives me 2 more pieces. I'm going to put these aside with my fishtail. So we've got those kind of waiting to finish up with them once our other main pieces are in. Now, grab your cute bee. She's ready to go. She's all staked up. And I am going to put her into the foam, just sitting back a little. I'm going to move this bee up because she's pretty big. Let's have her go kind of right into there to the right. So I'm going to trim her little dowel down. So I just cut it off now. Give that a swirl in that glue pot. And for those of you who are asking about the glue pot, it is an electric skillet that we use specifically and only for hot glue. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. So stinking cute. Look at her. Look at her right there. Y'all, it's so cute. I'm loving her. Now, perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to put one little cluster of our gypso right in front of her, because that's perfect right in there. I just gave that a swirl in my glue. I'm just spreading apart my fern. And we're going to put this just right here. All that fern coming between. That looks super. Look how cute. So adorable. Okay, our last touch is our little bees here. And they come with some glitter grass, but we're not going to use that. So actually there is going to be one thing left over. You can keep that glitter grass for another project. But these, we're just going to have as little fun bees flying around, and a little bit of something in the back too. So on these cuties, what I like to do is just kind of fluff out their cute little wings. And maybe we could have one of these to the front, and then we'll have the other two in the back. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut this one down and have her go just right here at the front, kind of coming forward. Yeah, right in here. She could just pop right there. It's just the fun textures of the different bees are a lot of fun. Now onto the back. So on here, a great method when you're using two of anything is to do one high and one low. So we're going to do one high right here in the back, and then we'll do a low one just kind of right below it, over to the side. It'll give it a real natural look right here over the side. And then the back of our design has a cute little bees on there too. Oh my gosh. Y'all could print, you know, "You're beautiful." You could do any of the bee cute sayings and just pin it right there to the main bee's wings. I think it's so cute. All right, our final touches. Ready? We've got 2 of the fishtails and 1 gypso. So our gypso is where we've got the yellow. And I'm just going to spin her around and see who could possibly use some more. And it just right below the bees would be perfect. So I'll trim that really pretty short, and we'll go right below these guys. Oh, I hope you're excited to try a sweet little arrangement like this. These are just as fun as the big ones sometimes, just because they are, they're cute and they're sweet. All right, now back to the front. We want to utilize our last bit of fishtail to give a little dimension up here in the front. And I like for things to break the plane of other things. So that means they kind of overlap. So I think a piece would look really good right behind her wing there. So I'm going to trim this down. And we'll put this piece in right here behind this guy. It's kind of popping forward a little. I love it. Excellent. I can maybe go a little bit backward. It's kind of coming in here between that. There you go. And these wings also can bend, so play with them. All these great wires really let you have dimension. So definitely utilize that. And then my last little piece, I'm going to make it pretty short. And we'll also have it work forward right out of that, right into this piece of the gypso, right in front of Miss B, here in the front. So she definitely has that tucked in feel. Yeah, just right there. And look at that. Look at that. She is so stinking cute. She's tucked in, she's hiding, but adorable. Are you seeing this? I love it. You can take these fern and make sure you fluff them a little too, so they really reach out and they touch. They have that little bitty curve like a real fern would. But are you kidding me? This is adorable. Look at it. Look at her. She is so cute.